Top 5 Charleston suburbs you need to know about. Hey everyone, Ryan McHugh here from Living in Charleston, South Carolina, the original OG Living in Charleston, South Carolina channel. I was here before everybody else. Thinking about moving to this amazing city, then I have some amazing information for you today. And you got great taste, because Charleston, is unbelievable. But Charleston's got more than just that charming downtown. Oh yes, it does. So today we are going to dive into the surrounding suburbs where locals actually live and get the inside scoop into what makes the local suburbs amazing and why you should consider checking out these 5 suburbs. Now, before we dive into this list, do me a favor, go ahead and hit that like button and tap that subscribe button, because that helps me with all my videos, and anytime I upload a new video, you're gonna get notified, especially if you click that little bell there. Now, jumping back into the video, we're gonna talk about all the different neighborhoods. We're gonna talk about people enjoying parks, cute local shops, things like that. So we're covering the top 5 suburbs that offer different vibes, different amenities, and all the good stuff you're looking for. Jumping right into the list, number 1, Mount Pleasant. Mount Pleasant sounds like it's just this amazing place. Like, I could live in Mount Pleasant and it's the greatest thing next to sliced bread, right? Yes, that is pretty much on every billboard driving into Mount Pleasant. So not only do you have Shem Creek Boardwalk, you have tons of beach scenes, but the local shops and restaurants, oh my God, they're so good. They're amazing. They're all the best. In fact, Summerville is trying to recruit the restaurants and restaurant owners from Mount Pleasant into Summerville. So that tells you something. Listen guys, Mount Pleasant is the original, and I just love saying this, the original OG, original gangster suburb that everyone knows, and for good reason. When I first moved here 9 years ago, our realtor said to us, oh, if you guys can afford it, you should move into Mount Pleasant. Now keep in mind, 9 years ago, you could buy a home in Mount Pleasant, a nice home in Mount Pleasant, for $450,000, maybe $500,000, maybe. Today, good luck finding those same homes at like less than $1 million. I mean, it's just so out of this world, but I love it still. It's still such a fantastic area, suburb. I mean, Mount Pleasant's beautiful. You not only have direct access to Sullivan's Island, right? But, and let's be honest, some of the best restaurants are on Sullivan's Island, and Isle of Palms beaches. So by living in Mount Pleasant, you not only have that direct access to Sullivan's Island, Isle of Palms beaches, you can get to Isle of Palms, and you can also, if you're gonna meet up with some friends who might be vacationing in Wild Dunes, you can comfortably get to Wild Dunes as well from Mount Pleasant. The other thing I wanna bring up and talk about is Shem Creek. Okay guys, and you may hear me talk about this a lot. Even when we're together, you may say, hey Ryan, where do you recommend for dinner? And I've said the seafood capital of Charleston, which is Shem Creek. Shrimp, grits, anyone? Come on. You can not only get your favorite seafood, but you can also get steak, you can get chicken, you can get a little bit of everything. Not only do you have the Shem Creek Crab House, but you have Tavern and Table, you have Water's Edge. I mean, so many great places to go out and eat. I highly recommend checking out Shem Creek. Now, if you said to me, Ryan, well, we need to live in a place that has the best schools, that are family friendly, does Mount Pleasant have that? Mount Pleasant not only has that, but like they are the upper echelon for schools. And it's just a fact. I mean, it's not something I'm talking about because I have kids that go there. No, I have family and friends who have moved to Mount Pleasant and are like, it is the greatest schools. I mean, the schools are like a 5 out of 5 or a 10 out of 10. Like, they're good, right? So I have a lot of folks who are like, we gotta move to Mount Pleasant for the schools. Totally get it, and I totally understand it, because not only are the schools great, but the lifestyle is fantastic. Now, the other thing about Mount Pleasant that I absolutely love is Town Center for shopping. Now, Town Center shopping area, you not only have that, but you have a few other areas as well. Town Center for shopping just has a little bit of everything in there. It's like an outdoor shopping center. So again, you're going to be able to get a lot of more high-end options out of Mount Pleasant than you would if you were living in Summerville. Now, I'm not trying to dumb down Summerville and say Summerville is not great, but Summerville is just not where Mount Pleasant is today. And I think that's why a lot of folks are paying those higher ticket prices for homes to be there where the action is now, not where it's going to be in 3 to 5 years. Now, I already touched on this, but the slightly higher price tag for living, you got to know you're paying for the location. Location, location, location. That's what my dad always used to say whenever we were looking at anything. He'd go, Ryan, where are we? And I'd be like, we're in the middle of the ocean. He goes, exactly. You're paying for location, location, location. So just know that when you're moving to Mount Pleasant or you're looking at houses there, you're paying for that location. That location is a premium. Land in Mount Pleasant is hard to come by. So much so that the county is actually putting limitations on how many new permits can be issued and then how many new homes can be built. So they're really putting a buffer on a lot of that, and a lot of that has to do with just the inbound migration and all the things needed to help Mount Pleasant continue to grow. So something to consider. If Mount Pleasant is on your list, you need to reach out to me and give me a call. Coming up next, number 2 on my list is James Island. Love me some James Island. Nature lover's paradise, if I don't mind say so myself. You've got everything from kayaking, biking trails. You've got the Folly Beach Pier not too far away, and casual restaurants. So if you're a family, you like to wear shorts and a t-shirt and you want to get all dressed up, you don't have to. If you want to just stay relaxed and have an outdoorsy lifestyle, James Island's going to be your jam. For number 1, you've got Folly Beach. Folly Beach is right there. If you're a big surfer, you can do surfing, fishing. It's just a laid-back beach town, and it's something that personally, if I was going to buy a home in one of these beach towns, whether it be Isle of Palms, Folly Beach, Sullivan's Island, Kiowa, I'd probably buy in Folly Beach because, again, they've got all the restaurants, the kind of the niche laid-back scene. You don't have to get dressed up and swanky. You can go in your flip-flops and your t-shirt and swim trunks and go have dinner or go have some drinks. It's one of the things I absolutely love about Folly Beach. And then when you talk to a lot of people, you may hear difference in opinions. But for most families, Folly seems to be nice because, like my kids love the boogie board. So we're constantly finding waves and trying to find the big waves so they can do some boogie boarding. And Folly just has nice swell, and it's definitely a cool vibe. And not to mention, you have the county park section of Folly Beach. That's where if you pay your $90 a year gold pass, you can park for free and you get to use all the amenities of their little county park house that they have there. They have like a little beach house, and they have showers, changing stations, a path to walk on and off the beach. So showers, which are amazing, so your kids aren't tracking all that sand home. The other thing I really love about James Island is the ton of green space. Not only do you have the county park right there, again, $90 gold pass, get in, park for free, and do whatever you want to do. You have McHugh Plantation. You have Riverland Terrace. So you have a ton of areas where they allow greenery and green space for biking, hiking, walking, you name it. It's all there. The other thing I really, really like about James Island is that it's more affordable than Mount Pleasant, but still close to downtown. So you're relatively just as close to downtown, whether you're in James Island or Mount Pleasant, but it's a lot more affordable. Now, by leaps and bounds, probably not, but at least enough where it makes a difference, right? So it's great for families and young professionals. That's the other thing. I see a lot of young people moving to James Island or buying houses and then maybe rehabbing them and putting a little sweat equity into it. Whatever it is that you enjoy doing or you want, you can definitely find it in James Island. Not to mention, I was just through James Island recently, and their Folly Road has turned into a ton of breweries, restaurants, stores, shopping centers. I mean, it's all there. So you don't really have to go far for much. Here's a local tip. Be sure to check out the breweries on Maybank Highway. There are a ton, and they have food specials all the time, drink specials. I'll tell you what, if you like to eat and drink, go check out Maybank Highway. All right, we're coming up on number 3 on Charleston suburbs. Again, you guys are thinking of moving or relocating here, gotta reach out. Numbers below. Let's jump into West Ashley is number 3 on my list. Everything from the Avondale shops, the farmer's market, live music, and tree-lined streets. West Ashley is pretty nice. This is Charleston's biggest suburb. Now, it's not only its biggest suburb, but it's its original suburb. So it's got a little bit of everything. So you can find homes in here that are ranch 2-bedroom options all the way up to 5 or 6 bedroom homes. So they've got a little bit of everything for everyone, no matter what you're looking for. It's just depending on whether you want to be inside the 526 or outside the 526. And if you're not sure what I'm talking about, the 526 kind of comes in, it's a highway, and it separates West Ashley. So everybody refers to it as inside the 526. So that's everything from 526 to Charleston. And then outside the 526, which is kind of everything from that other side of 526 down towards 17 and Savannah Highway. So you've still got a ton of area and options when it comes to looking for a home. But I'm gonna tell you straight up, this is gonna be probably one of the most affordable options on this list. So if you're someone looking and you're like, hey, what's West Ashley got? It's got a lot, but it's also gonna be the more affordable option compared to everything else. Another little tip, Avondale is Charleston's hipster haven with cool shops and restaurants. And listen, I'm from Buffalo where hipsters were like everywhere, like, you know, it's like Cartman, and he's like, I hate hippies. I hate hippies. Goddamn hippies. That's Charleston's hipster haven. They're just, that's where it all is. You go down there, they got head shops, they've got shops for tie-dye shirts and all that kind of crazy stuff. And the restaurants down there are pretty eclectic. Don't be surprised if you see a lot of young people in the Avondale area. It's just kind of where everything is for them. So it tends to be more of a hipster kind of college area, just something to consider. I know a lot of people who've moved there and been like, oh, like we didn't realize that it's a lot of young people. And I go, yeah, you know, West Ashley, it's affordable and it's got a cool scene for some younger people, but not all of West Ashley is like that. So the other thing I want you to understand is it has a diverse mix of housing options. So you've got everything from historic homes from way back in the 1800s to absolutely brand new builds that are being built right now. So not only do you have with West Ashley, you have easy access to downtown, right? But you also have the James Island access via the connector. So you've got a lot of things happening for you in West Ashley, being as close to you are as downtown. But here's the other thing to remember. Right now, they're currently working on making a pedestrian bridge that you'll be able to walk and bike across from West Ashley into downtown. I think this is really great, especially for you outdoor enthusiasts. I know a lot of people who live in West Ashley that ride bikes. They'd love to be able to ride their bike into downtown, and this is finally coming for those residents. So if you want to get here and you want to be a part of that lifestyle, you definitely need to jump in. And once that bridge is done, that's going to be pretty sweet. All right, last tip on West Ashley, nature lovers, check out the Ashley River and the Greenway. This is going to be a great area for you to go bicycling. I know a lot of bicyclists in the area. I know a lot of people who love to fish. This is going to be the area for you. So be sure to check it out. West Ashley, again, one of the top places that I'm recommending to a lot of people if you're trying to keep your budget low. Next up, Summerville. All right, so Summerville is the town of small charm. Yes, I said that. Historic downtown Azalea Festival, tree-lined streets, kids playing everywhere. I mean, that's what Summerville is. It's kind of like Pleasantville, you know, it just makes you feel at home. It's got that historic vibe, but also a lot of the new stuff. You've got, you know, the Flower Town Festival every year, tons of festivals, tons of kids, family-friendly, safe things to do. It is a bit further out of Charleston, but Summerville's that classic southern town you even see in movies. Like, it's just, they shoot movies here, not about the town, but like how quaint it is. They use like the quaintness as part of the background for the movie. And I'm going, oh, okay, well, why don't you just make it about Summerville? Just seems like a good idea. All right, so Summerville, fact number one, jumping right into it. It's Flower Town in the Pines. That's what it's known as, the Flower Town in the Pines. We have a ton of pine trees here. A big thing to know is that they're all tall pines, which used to be used for telephone poles, but since electricity is now under the ground, they don't really need a whole lot of tall pines. But they're still cutting them up, they're still taking them down and using them for wood products and paper products and all that good stuff. But if you're someone like me, and I'm going through it today, where you suffer from allergies, we have 2 weeks out of every year that I call it pollen season. It's pretty bad. You get this much crud on your car of just yellow pollen. You think you'd bought a white car, but you bought a yellow car. It's how bad it is. And I'll tell you what, it doesn't get better. You really should get on some allergy medication. That's what I did to really help combat how much pollen is in the area. Otherwise, you're gonna be sniffling, sneezing, having sore throats, itchy eyes, the whole nine. My eyes sometimes get bloodshot from it. It's just, there's nothing you can do, and it's not gonna get better. But hey, they have medication, allergy medication helps with it. The other thing you should know about Summerville is it's got a ton of history. Azalea Festival, the old plantations, you have Magnolia, you've got Boone Halls in Mount Pleasant, you have just a ton of the old plantations and historic downtown area, which if you're someone who's a history buff, or maybe you're like me, you're a ghost hunter, they've got ghost haunted places as well. Like, I love that stuff. I'll tell you what, that's probably on my, like, come Halloween, I love the ghost stories and all the creepy things I hear about Summerville. It's probably one of my favorite parts of the area. So something to consider. It's definitely got a ton of history. The other fact that you should know about Summerville is that it's very family focused with lots of kid-friendly activities. So if you're somebody that's like, I hate kids, my wife and I, we're never having kids, we don't have kids, we just don't want to be around kids, I wouldn't move to Summerville. If you want to be around other families, other kids, other like-minded individuals, families who are looking for high-quality lifestyle, then Summerville is probably going to be it for you. But you should know that if you're moving here and you're like, hey, my wife and I don't have kids, we don't plan to have kids, you're relatively going to be around a lot of people who do have kids or are looking for kid-friendly activities. So if your thing isn't for kids, check out West Ashley or even Mount Pleasant. Fact number 4 that you should know about, more affordable than the closer in suburbs. So a lot of people will say, well, you know, I want to live in West Ashley because I'm only 10 minutes from downtown, and that's great. But if you've got a budget of $300,000, $350,000, you're probably not going to find what you're looking for. You're going to have better opportunity of finding it closer to Summerville and then commuting. It's just more affordable than the closer in suburbs of Charleston. I tell everyone, think of Charleston kind of like a mushroom cloud. It's the most expensive at the center of that point, and then it slowly goes out, right? So it hits Mount Pleasant, hits James Island, hits Johns Island, and then it goes up the 26 towards Summerville. And that's where we start to see prices quickly start to diminish, and not diminish in value, but just kind of lower. You know, it's a little bit more affordable the further out you get. Now, the other thing you need to know about Summerville is it's growing rapidly fast. I mean, even so much so that some people weren't even expecting how much development because the schools are getting a little inundated. But you can expect to see a ton of development here, and it's happening every day. It's happening yesterday, it's happening today, and it's happening tomorrow. You're going to see, you know, trucks out there, you're gonna see dirt movers, you're gonna see caterpillars, you're going to see it all in Summerville because there's just so much going on. But that's okay because it is a great place to raise a family. Next up on our list, number 5, Daniel Island. Cha-ching, 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 baby. Oh, you gotta love Daniel Island. I might as well just call it, You know, some people call it Daniel's Island, and I'm like, you idiot. It's Daniel Island, and I'll tell you what, it is the perfect planned community. Golf courses, waterfront views, upscale homes like you wouldn't believe, semi-custom to custom, and a ton of community events for the Daniel Island residents. This one's a planned community, and if you like things neat and tidy, Daniel Island's for you. Not only do you have waterfront living with gorgeous views and tons of amenities, right? But you've got golf courses, tennis courts, pickleball courts, pools. Oh my God, you guys get the picture. But I mean, it just keeps going. And Daniel Island is exquisite. The homes there, the upscale homes, everything feels very manicured, neat. And then let's talk about the location. You're right over the river from Mount Pleasant, but you're also off the 526, so you can get to West Ashley, you can get to Summerville, you can get to downtown, you can get to North Charleston relatively quickly. Now, does the 526 back up from time to time? Absolutely. But like any major highway, that's going to happen, and there are other routes you can take. But Daniel Island also boasts the most impressive schools and a strong sense of community. I have friends who live in Daniel Island, and they're constantly taking pictures of their kids at school and all the fun activities they do, and it looks like a blast, I gotta tell you. Now, they do pay a much higher premium on their home than pretty much everybody else in the area, but they're buying into that lifestyle. It's gonna be a lifestyle they're gonna live for a long time. So, as I said, Daniel Island, pricier all around, but if that's the lifestyle you want, you're gonna pay for it. Not to mention, Daniel Island is like its own little hub. A lot of the folks there, a lot of the residents, they all know each other. You have some celebrities that even live in Daniel Island, Danny McBride. You've got other celebrities who also live there. It's a wild area from price, but also visual standpoint. I mean, it's absolutely beautiful. You drive through some of these neighborhoods and you're like, who lives here? This is amazing. So if you want to check out the bad and bougie kind of places, not bad and bougie. If you want to check out the cool and awesome bougie places, then Daniel Island is definitely one of those places you should add to your list. I absolutely love being over there. I love showing homes over there. That's my biggest thing. I just like driving there. It's like, feel like I'm driving into a different part of the world. All right, guys, so there you have it. Charleston's got a suburb, every taste and every budget. Still not sure which one's right for you? Then you guys need to drop a question below, and I'm gonna do my best to help answer that question. But here's what I need from you. I need you to do me a favor, subscribe for more Charleston living updates and tips, and do me a favor and hit that notification bell so that every time I upload a video, you get notified. You wanna see available properties now in any of these 5 suburbs we just talked about? Go to my website, www.buyfromrye.com, and just go ahead and search out one of these great suburbs and let me know if you want to see one of these homes for you and your family, and I'll be sure to make it happen.